Tune in most days of the week, and he'll be there schooling some ignorant creep, or catch him on a gaming whim. But this ain't a game to him. You could be a Bradley's baddie too. You could be a Bradley's baddie too. So join Jovan and get your critical cap on. 'Cause there's a Bradley's baddie inside of me and you.
Good morning, squad. Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? Welcome in to the stream. Welcome to the Morning Manifesto. Live here on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. I hope everybody had a good rest of your day yesterday. I'm happy to be back and to have returned. On this, I forgot what word we used, so I just did throwaway today. So throwaway Thursday. We didn't do theism Thursday, and I'm okay with that. We have a couple of topics on our board today. The first one being MAGA don't understand the economy, education, healthcare, criminal justice, the border, etc., etc., etc. Oh, themeless. Oh, well, too late. We also have men don't want wives, they want mommies, maids, and nannies. And we have Trump is unfit to be president. Those are my 3 talking points today. That's what I'm going to be rolling with here on this hour. I kind of like throwaway, though. But whatever. Throwaway, themeless Thursday, whatever you want to call it. I am indeed drinking a tall glass of Hawaiian Punch for breakfast. Leave me alone. It's delicious. How have you been, chat? How are you last night? How are you this morning? How are you right now? Tell me how you're doing in the comments so that I know. And get ready for a day of fun. Where's my water? I already drank a tall glass of H2O, so now I have juice. I'm going to essentially open up call-ins here this morning. So if you do disagree with anything on the board and you want to talk about it, send a guest request on TikTok or call into the call-in number that is on YouTube. That call-in number is 219-238-6566. Again, 219-238-6566. If you're interested in having the conversation. If you're not interested in having the conversation, then okay, I guess. We do have our tip goal for the day. Listen, if you want to be a baddie, baddies engage in tip culture. They tip you for your labor. So our tip goal is on the side of the screen there. You can tip via the Cash App or the Venmo, whichever you want. Dude, I'm like finally over my sinus thing. Slightly, there's like a slight congesty, but this post-nasal still is killing me. Like just the constant. But yeah, baddies engage in tipping culture. So if you want to tip for the stream today, Cash App and Venmo are on the side. I will read any message, especially if you type in read, then I'll definitely read any message. Oh shit. Already breaking the seal. We got Yemye. I know I said it wrong. We got Yemye. I already forgot how to say it, but we got Yemye breaking the seal. Thank you so much, Yemye, for the $10 Cash App. Everybody say W to Yemye. Isn't it Yemye? Yemye? I fucking can't. I'm so bad. I'm so sorry. I apologize to you so profusely. Not much happened between today and yesterday news-wise. Still, everything going with the healthcare pew-pewer, we did that is still ongoing. Free my boy Luigi. He did nothing wrong. But I do got to say, apparently people are doxing the McDonald's worker that ratted him out. And I do think this is a bad thing to do. Because I know we're a little mad that he got ratted out, but the McDonald's worker was also like a minimum wage worker, and they were offering like Yeme. Oh, Yeme. Yeme. I'll have it from now on. The McDonald's worker was also a low cost, a minimum wage employee, and they were offering a reward. So now, if she didn't get the money, that's gonna be some crazy shit. She didn't get the money is crazy. Oh my God. Well, now I guess we have some other, never mind. I don't get why people are so, because you call 911 not the tip line. Wow. This is criminal justice system for you guys, 101, bro. That being said, free my boy Luigi. He did nothing wrong. Free my boy. He was actually with me that day at that specific time. Me and him were actually together. So yeah, I have proof too. You guys want to see the proof? Hold on. I have full proof that me and him were together that day. Let me just hold on. Let me just pull it up. I have full proof that me and him were chilling. Ready? I got you. Ready? I got you. Ready? I got you. Ready? Me and him were actually hanging out. So hold on. Hold on, chat. Just wait. Like, damn. I'm just kidding. You guys aren't being impatient. So here is full proof. This is me and Luigi hanging out at my house. Here you go. Full proof. There you go. Ignore it being on Canva. I just needed a place to upload the photo. But this is full proof that me and Luigi were hanging out that day. So, you know, free my boy. He did nothing wrong. Free my boy. I remember, don't you guys remember he was on stream with me? You know? There he is right there. Me and him. Ignore the fact that it's a movable photo. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, free my boy. Anyway. It's a little quiet today. Are we going to have a more quiet, chilled out Thursday? Thank you, Goth King Kia, for subscribing over on TikTok. It's going to be a more low-key day today. I like how we have a bunch of like low tier, low IQ people in the YouTube going, "You're incorrect because you wear cat ear headphones." Blah, 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 blah. I'm so strong that I talk shit on YouTube. I don't call into the very clear call-in number and debate the points because I know I have no factual evidence to back me up. Amazing. Also, W to SB88 for becoming a tier 2 member on YouTube. Remember, tier 2 members on YouTube do get early access to all my videos. Early access to all YouTube videos 48 hours prior to upload. And we got a lot of stuff coming down the YouTube pipeline next year. A lot of challenge. I'm going to be doing a lot of challenges. They will go on my alt YouTube, my other YouTube, but we do got a lot of stuff coming down the YouTube pipeline. One of which might interrupt the morning show for like a month. I don't know yet. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Kristen becoming a 3-month subscriber. Oh shit! Over on TikTok. Oh shit! Y'all have seen Kristen around. She's in a lot of lives. She be doing the damn thing. The reason I don't do gun debates is because I don't believe guns should be banned. I'm a leftist. I'm a communist specifically. We're pretty pro-gun. So that's the whole reason. Well, so I want to do it. So I like to do challenges related to the Disney parks. And as Jesse can attest, if you guys are on the Twitch chat and you know Jesse, as Jesse can attest, I have been screwed pretty consistently on trying to do these challenges. But one of the ones I want to do is riding Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind every day for a month and see how that one works for me. I think I'll get bananaed. Jen, thank you for the $10 Cash App. Thank you so much, Jen. Everybody say W, Jen. Hello, are you here to debate?
Hey, Big J. Long time, first time.
Cool.
Hey, as much as it would be, as fun as it would be to participate in one of JoJo's bizarre debates, I'm on your side, and I actually have a clarifying question, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, obviously, I'm not a fan of capitalism. Capitalism sucks, blah, blah, blah. What would you say, in your opinion, are the main hurdles, drawbacks, or limitations of a system like communism or socialism, since no system is perfect, and how would those be addressed or overcome?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest issue with, the biggest issue we're going to have with communism specifically is just economic planning is going to be a bitch and a half. Like, it's going to take a lot of legwork to get it off the ground rolling. That's going to be like our biggest drawback. But we can do it easily. One of my favorite videos on YouTube is Second Thought did a video about how Walmart plans its economy, and how when you look at the way Walmart structures its planning, it really is a good one-to-one for how we can do it in like a socialist structure, because big capitalist businesses are so line item. They're so like line item that like they have everything planned down to the dollar, and they know when those dollars are missing. So I think we can. Yeah, I think that's gonna be. Oh, guys, did the TikTok mess up? Because I can reset it. That happens sometimes when I get a call. So we can the planning the economy is gonna be the in my opinion the biggest hurdle. But once we get past, well, that and re-education. I think re-education away from a capitalist mindset is also going to be a bitch and a half. So getting people out of the mindset of me, and back into what used to be the mindset of most societies, which was I help my fellow neighbor. That's also going to be tough, because capitalism has made us very individualistic when we should be community driven.
Okay, that makes sense. Anything else you think would need to be like main addressed once you get that system going?
Anything like from the current system that we need to address, like head on? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like once we take care of like getting the buy-in and the education and all that, and we're actually into more of a socialist or possibly even communist type of situation, what are the drawbacks of the system that's already running?
What are the drawbacks? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. What are the drawbacks of this current system, or the drawback?
once communism or socialism is up and running and like has been going for a while, and we get the buy-in for people in education, like once that's been going for a bit, what possible limitations or hurdles come up there?
Well, the only thing I think that will really like push in will be like how we address wants, right? Because the whole thing about communism is it's not really a want-based system; it's a needs-based system.
Yeah.
But I really think we can get away with addressing wants via like simple lotteries and stuff like that. Like we were once having a conversation. It was me, Sean, and somebody else, and the guest brought up like, what do we do if there's like a sporting event and there's a limited number of tickets, right? Because there's no money. How do we decide who gets to go? And I think a lottery system is like your best bet for things like that. But also, if there's no barrier to price, right, we can have more sporting events going at one singular time. It doesn't need to be like one thing. So I think addressing wants is going to be a bit of an uphill battle, but I don't think it's going to be an uphill battle that is going to. I really think the bulk of people will prefer their needs met than their wants met. So I think as long as we address the needs, we can figure the wants out down the road.
All right, cool. Well, I appreciate it. Keep up the good work, and I'll keep watching.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for calling in and chatting.
Later.
I think a good call. Do you guys want? I've been saying this before, but I haven't done it yet. Should I do a thing on my like debate Discord where I hop in like a what are they called? Like an audience space, and I just let you guys come up and test your arguments? Well, I can do that. I just haven't yet. What's up? You here to have a conversation?
Yo, yeah, what's up?
Chillin'. What is your name, age, and pronouns, please?
Name, age, and pronouns. My name's Drew. I'm 30, and my pronouns are he, him.
All right, Drew, do you disagree with any of the topics on the board?
The topics on the board. What are the topics on the board? MAGA don't understand the economy, education, healthcare, criminal justice, the border, etc. Yeah, probably. Men don't want wives; they want mommies, maids, nannies. That's a pretty big simplification. Trump is unfit to be president. Maybe.
So, like, do you disagree? Was there a specific reason you called in?
Yeah, I was listening to you talk about how you want the economy to work, and I was just wondering if you could elaborate on that.
Well, I'm a communist, so I just want the economy to be a communist-driven economy, not a capitalist-driven economy.
That's crazy. Why? Why do you think that the free market is not better?
Because I think the free market.
Sure, like yes, I contend that like the free market, doesn't always solve all problems, but like you can't plan the economy.
What? Yes, you can. We currently have.
You really can't.
It's just planned out differently. Yeah. Yes.
It's never worked in history. I don't know why you think this.
What do you mean? We currently plan out our economy.
No, we don't. It's a free market, and we just have taxes.
That doesn't mean the economy. What do you think it means when we say planned economy? Like, what do you think I mean?
Planned economy means top down. People at the top say what needs to happen on the bottom. The production needs to be X amount in this department, whatever. That's how communist China worked, and look how great that went.
So, yeah, we already have a good portion of this going on, right?
No, we don't. The United States government doesn't tell Intel, you need to produce this many chips this year. They don't go tell NVIDIA you need to produce this many GPUs this year. Correct. It's all market demand driven.
Intel does that.
No, they don't. I used to work for them, bozo.
Intel decides.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. Intel decides how much chips they need per year. They plan
out. Doesn't tell them that.
Homie. I said our economy is planned. It's not planned by our government. It's planned by the businesses that run the economy, that run like our different economic systems. So Intel plans out It decides based on the need of the customer how many chips
Yeah,
it needs to produce.
That's the free market.
That is still a planned economy.
That's the free market.
That is still a planned economy.
That's called forecasting
that is
demand.
That is still Intel planning how their economic participation is going to work. What do you mean?
I'm not having this conversation this morning. It's too early for this.
First year econ bros are hilarious, dog.
But what? I have a master's degree.
Yeah, sure you do. Let me ask you a question. What is communism?
Communism? I mean, what specific definition do you want of it? There's so many. You talking about like Cold War communism? You're talking Chinese communism?
Neither Mao or Stalin ran communist economies.
That's hilarious because that's all communism is.
Nope. This is what I said. It's hilarious when they like you have a master's in econ, but you don't know what communism is.
I'm not getting into this.
Because you can't. Yeah. Ran away. Please, bro.
Good morning.
Morning, Katie.
I'm awake again, so I get to be here. I'm excited.
He said, what definition do you want? The definition.
Yep. And then he said that Mao and Stalin are all communism is.
It's legitimately hilarious. But yeah, when I just to reiterate, chat, when I say planned economy, what I'm talking about is the fact that it is possible to determine need and to plan out how that need is given out to the people, right? And we can see this happening when we look at businesses. So like his example of Intel predicts their customers' need, and then they produce what they predict is needed for the customer. This is possible to do on larger scales. This idea that it's not possible is like, what? Humans are just too stupid to do this? Anyway. How was your night, Katie?
I couldn't unmute, Jesus Christ. Well, I had multiple dreams about my older sister beating me up a ton, so that was nice.
Oh, damn,
but
that's crazy.
On a positive note, I don't know shit about the economy, and even I know that businesses do that. Because if they have a bunch of losses one year, like they have like an overload of stock, then obviously the next year they're going to take down the amount of production.
Someone says, but does Intel collaborate with Dell and Microsoft to plan? Yeah, 100%, because Intel produces chips for both Dell and Microsoft. So they would need to plan accordingly because Microsoft and Dell are going to need chips from them. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. What's up, Kristen?
Hey, boo. Hey, what's up, guys?
We chilling.
We talking the economy this morning?
Apparently. It wasn't on the list, but... Well, I guess it is technically on the list.
It's a terrific idea. Okay, thank you.
Oh, a tariff. Got it. That took me a second. That took me a bit.
Also too early for the guests, and so that makes sense.
YouTube is real triggered about the cat ears, bro. I've never seen so many snowflakes in one spot. They need a safe space away from my cat ears, apparently. Sad to see it.
I remember having a conversation with someone in your comments once about your cat ears because they were like I'm gonna take the words from a man wearing cat ears, and I was like, really? Because if you were using your critical thinking skills, I can assess the fact that cat ears have nothing to do with rationality. And then he said, they absolutely do. And I was like, okay.
Why? It's funny because they'll take the advice of a man with a spray tan, but cat ears is just too far for them.
I just want to know what they're going to do when they find out about the tail.
I'm never beating these furry allegations, bro.
Speaking of hot tail, what's up, Alina? Nothing.
I feel like I'm in Alina's spot, and I don't like it.
You can always try to swap it. Oh, someone new. Good morning, Alina. Hello, guest. Are you here to have the conversation?
Yeah.
All right. What's your name, age, or pronouns?
You can just call me Zeke. Like 27.
And your pronouns?
Pronouns, I guess he. Yeah, he. I guess.
Okay, cool. You're very quiet.
I don't know. Whatever the.
Like very quiet.
Is that better?
Yes, that's a little better. What? Oh, we brought in a guest on TikTok.
I am so sorry. I was trying to at thoughts. That was my bad.
That's all right. I'll drop. Sorry.
No problem. So Zeke, was it? Do you agree or disagree with the topics on the board?
I thought I saw somewhere that women or men don't want like women. They want like maids. Is that what? Am I reading that right?
Yeah. I need you to speak a little clearer. It's just sounding a little muffled, but I did hear what you said. The topic is men don't want wives; they want mommies, maids, and nannies.
I guess my only problem with something like that is that it feels very generalized.
It would be.
I don't know if I would categorize like the majority of men wanting that, but I can understand that in today's atmosphere that does seem to be there's just something missing in the men and women dynamic. Sure.
So the reason that I have it split that way is or I have it generalized just because it's based on like nationwide averages, and on average nationwide, women do the bulk of household chores. Women do the bulk of the household labor, and men don't. So this is why I would say men don't want wives, because if they wanted a wife, they would participate in an equal share of household labor, but they don't.
Yeah, I think that's understandable. I think that, I'm, in my opinion, I'm very religious. So I mean, I may not agree with you on a lot of things, but I do think that a partnership does have require some equality, where you still, I mean, the man being the head of the household, of course, it's Christian belief, but that doesn't mean that as the head you can do 20 or 30%. You are kind of required to do that as much as you can. If you're the head, you probably should be doing more, honestly.
Yeah, what I would say is if men want to be the heads of households, they should be doing the bulk of all labor. Secondly, I don't think men are emotionally equipped to be the heads of households on average. When we look at like emotional intelligence, women tend to have a higher emotional IQ than men do. And I think in order to be the head of basically anything, you need to have a pretty high emotional IQ. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to understand the emotions that you have. And what we're going to see is this lead to like the rate of DV, rates of spousal abuse, rates of domestic, I don't want to say domestic abuse because that's spousal abuse, rates of like, I guess just rates of emotional, physical, financial, all these sort of abuse things. When you're not able to understand and regulate your emotions, it leads to these things a lot easier.
I can agree to that to a certain point. I think that men reach an age where I think what happens is people marry too early, and I think when men reach a certain age, they become, well, you should, all things going right, become able to control yourself and your emotions. I think that you're probably, I don't know the statistics on this, so you have a better statistical view on it, but this is just based off of my opinion. I'd say that as men age, they do reach a level of, well, you should anyways, if you're I'm not saying you should, but I think that people should reach a certain point of emotional awareness and being able to control themselves and understand situations better. I think what happens a lot is people get married very young, or they date and they do like these. I think society moves or pushes people to connect really quickly, and when that happens, you lose a lot of the maturity that's supposed to go into a partnership or a marriage.
Only because, I mean, if any of the femme voices want to speak, they can as well. But I would just say that I think on average, men tend to not reach that level of emotional maturity. And I don't think it's about controlling your emotions, right? Because the way men tend to, quote unquote, control their emotions is just push them down, right? They tend to just not engage with them, and that to them is controlling. I think what we need to see is men be able to understand, use, and manage their emotions. And I think that without understanding that and understanding how everything in your life influences your emotional state, I think men are always going to be sort of, in my opinion, not the greatest leaders on the planet. Excuse my cough.
I feel like that's a strange perspective to have, when the majority of like world leaders have all like been men for so long. But
yeah, and
I don't know.
I would say the majority of societies.
Maybe that was a.
Well, I would just say the majorities of societies have largely failed. Yeah.
I mean, I think societies probably are. I mean, it depends on what society you're talking about, but
most of them
probably based off of most of them, yeah. But
like, if we're gonna say like, oh, men are great when they're in charge. I mean, look at the fact that like every world war was started by a man. Literally every single one.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's a fair comparison. I don't know. I wouldn't say, like, the way you're framing it sounds a bit deceptive. Just because.
Is it? I think men seek power.
Like, men leadership doesn't mean that. Well, yeah, sure.
I think men. I think part of toxic masculinity is men's drive and need to seek power, and so men tend to seek power, and then that power tends to. I won't use the adage absolute power corrupts absolutely, but we see that when it comes to the way that like male dominated societies run, they're never egalitarian. And without that egalitarian society, you're going to have societies in which people at the bottom rung of the ladder are sacrificed so people at the top rung of the ladder can continue to survive.
Yeah, I think that's an important note, just to kind of butt in really quickly. When we look at the framework of patriarchy, especially in the Western world, and we look at toxic masculinity and how it's currently framed in media, even when men are referring to people like Jordan Peterson, they note things like the hegemonic power structure of the hierarchy. And women tend to be more egalitarian, where they're more communal. Thus, communism tends to work in that kind of space, whereas men have this kind of deficit to not only dominate everything around them, but also to procure and to essentially become a hierarchy, like we see in the military, what we see in the police force, and other structures around us.
I was going to say, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was going to say that I'm not as educated as you, so I just wanted clarification. You said egalitarian.
Yeah, I think both of us mentioned it.
Yeah, can you explain that for me? Just so we're on the same page.
Of course. And I'm sorry, Jovan, are you muted? Because I felt like your mouth was moving.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to explain egalitarianism?
Yeah, egalitarian just means it's a belief of society in which all people are equal, full stop. Like they're all equal, they deserve equal rights, equal opportunity. There are no people who are lesser than in an egalitarian society.
And would that also include like equity?
Yeah.
Is that something that, I mean, in your opinion, is that something you would want? Egalitarian? I mean, I don't feel like people are equal. I mean, if you're talking like morally, sure, but if you're talking like physically, people, there are abnormal people who are really good at certain things and people who are a lot smarter. I mean, clearly there's people who are more educated.
But really quickly, just because someone's more educated doesn't mean they deserve to be like higher in society than somebody else, right? Class distinction is a bad thing because it leads to inequitable outcomes.
And there's this common misnomer that, like, especially YT males tend to kind of fall into it. I'm not saying you, Gast, I'm just saying in general. But they think that we're in a meritocracy because they don't understand the levels of privilege that they have already. So, even when we see, the studies of something like, let's just say the gender wage gap, men don't seem to understand that we get paid less, and then they find 14 excuses to why they think that is, and then say, hey, well, why wouldn't people just hire women? But there are a lot of intricate details behind why women are still being paid less, and most of those are just down to misogyny.
But you would want, in an ideal world, wouldn't you want a merit-based society? Even though you don't believe it,
we're in a merit-based society right now?
No, wouldn't you want a merit-based society in an ideal world?
I think in an ideal world, all of our wants and needs would be met. And meritocracy is great in theory, but when you think about who's actually conducting that, kind of scale of what's merit, we find that it's not equally applied as it should be.
Yeah, I mean, meritocracy already has like a disadvantage of like people who have disabilities, people have ailments, especially if they're not being categorized or recognized as such, then those people are already being blocked from success.
Also, I do want to just point out the merit-based is so subjective. Like, what if I take over society and I decide, well, I think people who have liberal arts degrees that is actually what's more valuable in society. Therefore, anyone who does construction is going to get paid less because I don't value construction as much.
If we're in a true meritocracy, teachers wouldn't be paid so little. Mothers would be paid for their labor. Gestation would be paid for. But I'm glad Katie obviously brought up, the needs of people who are kind of on the outskirts of what we would typically think of within like a meritocracy today. And just people's fundamental needs should be met. It shouldn't be up to, everyone having to contribute a certain type of way.
Second? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. It's just I do disagree with what's being said. Only in the fact that saying that a person, if I don't know the exact person who said, I don't know anybody's names. Nobody else introduced themselves. I'm not a watcher, but I just found this channel, so I don't know people name by name.
I'm sorry, I'm Kristen down here.
Sorry?
Can you just say what you want to say?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just said I'm Kristen since we didn't introduce ourselves to you.
Kristen. Okay. But it wasn't you, Kristen. It was the other gentleman who I spoke to first. I believe he said, I lost my train of thought now. I believe he said that liberal arts, if he was the head of society, like he could make liberal arts the most important thing. But I think in a society, something that's important to a merit-based society is that, things that are useful do receive more praise or I guess in an ideal merit-based society. I can't say in our merit-based society because you do have good examples of like teachers who should get paid more, but I don't know if the reason for that is solely merit-based. I think that, and again, I would get into my own opinion on unionization. I don't think that helps produce great teachers, but I feel like you would disagree with that, so I'll leave that to the side just to say that in an ideal merit-based society, the things that are important to people would receive the most value, and a liberal arts degree would.
But this isn't the case when we see this. When a merit-based society, it's not the things that are important to people; it's things that are important to the like upper class. That's who get. It's not
do you
about
think
being
stockbrokers are more merited than, let's say, a musician? Because people can't really live without music; they'd go fucking crazy.
Yeah, well, that's another thing is entertainment. Entertainment is prioritized in society today, and entertainers receive a lot more merit and a lot more finance for being entertainers. But I would value a teacher or a nurse more highly than that.
And I brought up specifically musicians because, like, I'm in my music studio right now, and you know, it's a very small sample size that also gets that kind of payment. Whereas there are people out there who are doing, you know, vast amount of work or production work or things like that that don't have the same elements of fame because they weren't, you know, given those same privileges or same opportunities necessarily.
And I like, you can even take this further. Like, look at just really quickly, look at farmers. I think we would all argue that agriculture is probably the most important job done in our country, right? It's without a doubt the only thing that keeps us alive is agriculture jobs, right? Farmers don't make shit. Farmers aren't treated good. Farmers are consistently targeted by unfair business practices and things like that. So like we don't live in a meritocracy now.
But I would probably point to things that, like when you say unfair business practices, I would probably point to regulation that I would you know, I would probably say this is probably what's causing these problems. But if I could be mistaken, you might be supportive of more regulation or more. Maybe I am. I haven't heard your opinion. What do you think about
less regulation would actually lead to less equity? Like there's without equity there would be zero benefit of a merit-based society, because you got to consider like underserved community. Can I finish?
Sorry.
Okay, so the underserved communities, like you can say merit-based like all you want, but like if you look at underserved communities where their schools are not funded, like how could you ever have a merit-based society when you have people that are going to schools with laptops and then other people barely have textbooks in their schools? Like it would, like that just makes no sense. Like you cannot have a merit-based society, period.
Well, you implied that you could legislate equality. I don't think that's the case. I think anytime you try to legislate that kind of thing, that it has negative impact.
Equity. Do you know the difference between equity and equality?
No, explain it to me, please.
I'm too tired, Javon.
All right. Well, I mean, we've kind of strayed a lot off topic, but I'll let you go. I just wanted to hear what you have to say. I think that you made some valid points. But we did veer very off topic. Sorry.
All right, no problem.
Have yourself a good one.
You do.
Bye.
Tomorrow when we do Feminist Friday, I think I'm gonna add men don't make good leaders as a topic.
Ooh. That one gets a lot of people actually.
Yeah, I think
running that as a solo topic and it doing really well.
I think it works, and I think running the emotional intelligence argument works really well. There are some people in the guest requests on TikTok. Do you want to see if they disagree?
I'm pretty sure they do. They were talking about what you were saying about economy earlier, I think.
Can I just add that I don't think men are good breeders or seeders either. Just saying.
That one's crazy.
I do want to point out that Javon set me up today. Javon said,
Nope. I will read the message. I said, no morning stream today, gonna rest so I can do an evening stream. Then 30 minutes later, I said, I lied, I'm wide awake.
Well, how do you know when I read your message?
That's on you. You gotta be up to read all messages, friend.
Oh, okay.
I mean, realistically, Alina, you weren't even that late. I think you're fine.
No, Alina needs to be here before me. Alina needs to turn on the live. Mitch, do you disagree with any of the topics on the board?
I want to talk about planned and market-based economies if you want to, because I started watching the live just after the guest before the last one got finished up, where he kind of just left. So I thought I'd pick up where he left off, and maybe we can chat about that if you want.
I mean, do you believe planned economies are possible?
No, I don't.
Why?
Well, it's not that you can have a planned economy, but it would be extremely unsuccessful and would result in massive amounts of poverty.
Why?
Basically because of the economic calculation problem. So without market economies, without private direction of the factors of production, you cannot economize on capital goods, and you cannot know their relative value, and you cannot therefore figure out what is the most value efficient method of producing goods and services.
I don't care about it being value efficient.
Well, then you can't rationally allocate resources, right?
Why not?
Well, okay, so let me give you an example. So if you are trying to build a railway between two different cities, A and B, and there's a mountain in the way, so you can either go around the mountain or you can go through the mountain. One, going through the mountain uses more engineering, but less resources, less steel and less metal because it's a shorter route. But the other route around the mountain uses a greater amount of steel because it's a longer route, but less engineering because it's easier to go around a mountain than through it. How do you figure out which of these two methods is the better option for satisfying the demand for a railway between A and B?
I would go through the mountain.
Based on what?
It's shorter. I don't care about cost.
Okay.
I don't care about how much it costs. I don't care about how much resources it'll take. I don't care about any of that.
So are we just supposed to build the economy around what Jovan says is the best way of doing
No, we
stuff?
we build the economy around the needs of the community.
Right. So basically, your entire economy is going to be based around
needs. Yes.
Asking people what they want and trying to figure out.
I don't care about what they want. It's about the needs. The
Right,
community needs a railroad, right? And in order for the community,
how do you figure that out?
Well, because we need to transport goods.
Well, how do you know?
Because
you may not need to do that.
Because somebody has goods and they want to give us those goods, and we need to get those goods.
They want.
So there is a need.
What did you say? They want to do that?
I never said want. I never said want. Who said want?
You did. You specifically said they want to transport the goods between A and B.
I said somebody has goods that they want to give us. So in order to get those goods, the community needs a railroad, correct? So if we can do it without a railroad, then we're going to do it without a railroad.
Right, but how do you know whether building a railroad or not is the right way to transport those goods from A to B?
It depends on how much the goods are. How big are the goods? Are they carryable? Can we walk the goods? Then we wouldn't need a railroad. Can we drive the goods? Then we wouldn't need a railroad. Are they bigger than our cars and our trucks? And there's so many that we might need a railroad. You think people are too dumb to understand what they might need in a community?
No, absolutely not. I'm not claiming that at all. I'm claiming you have no way of figuring out whether transporting them by foot, transporting them by rail, transporting them by road, or transporting them by plane or by sea is the most efficient way of doing it.
Yes, we do.
Or just the best way. It's all arbitrary. It's all
everything.
Okay,
what does it matter if it's arbitrary? Who cares if it's arbitrary?
Oh, I care if it's arbitrary because
Why?
you could potentially be using up. Potentially be using up capital goods that could be better serviced in other areas of the economy that might be willing to give up more for them, and therefore
I don't care about them giving up. I don't care about them giving up more for them because it wouldn't be an economy based around like profit. So I don't care if they give up more for them. What? I'm not looking to be profitable.
So you don't care about opportunity costs. You don't care about what people are willing to forego in order to gain a particular resource. You don't think that's relevant?
I don't care about. No, I wouldn't do a profit-based economy. So I don't care what they're willing to pay.
Well, that doesn't answer my question. I'm asking you. So again, you've literally just admitted that it doesn't matter whether your economy is based on arbitrary decisions or not. So I'm asking, so my question then would be, how could you possibly suggest that this is going to be an economy that provides for people if you're just willing to say, yeah, I mean, it's just arbitrary. We'll just make a selection based off of, whatever we randomly decide. We'll pick a name out of a
selection. No, we'd make a selection based on what the community decides.
So
if the community needs a railroad, the community will decide where that railroad goes, how that railroad operates. Like this, we would leave it to the community, not up to some state entity or to some private business owner.
So you'll put it to a vote.
It could be a vote. That's one way the community might decide to do it. They might elect councils to do this. There's multiple ways the community can decide how to get something done.
Right. So you're putting it to a vote, and you believe that will yield a non-arbitrary.
It could be a vote. It could also be a council decision where they elect a council who has knowledge on railroads. So this council might be knowledgeable on how railroads run, how efficient railroads are, and they might say, hey, this is the best route based on what we're trying to do. And then that's what the community will go with because they trust these people to make those decisions. They might do it that way.
So do these planners, these council members, do they have knowledge of every single other possible permutation and possible usage of every single input that they will possibly be using?
No, just like current businesses don't have knowledge on literally everything. Yeah, no.
They don't need to because they have prices.
Knowledge on everything.
They don't need to because they have prices, right? That's how our market-based economy works, right? You don't need to know what all the other possible uses of a particular input are, because if the potential output, the price that you can sell a potential output for is higher than the sum total of the inputs, then you know you're doing something that people value great. You know you're producing something that people value higher than the inputs.
That's not true.
How's it not true?
Just because the price of something is higher doesn't mean that the value of that thing is higher.
What is price to you? What do you think price is?
Price would be the cumulative cost of all labor and materials plus profit would be the price.
Right. So when someone is willing to pay a particular amount of money for something, what is that communicating about them?
I don't care what it communicates. It doesn't mean that the thing is more valuable than another thing. Prices can be artificial, and they are artificial all the time.
I agree that prices can be artificial if they're manipulated by a government entity. But
no, businesses manipulate the prices. Let's talk about value and price, right? Let's use an example coming direct from capitalism. Light bulbs prior to LED bulbs were terrible. They burnt out quite often. They burnt out this way because light bulb manufacturers got together and realized if they made light bulbs the way they were intended to be made, they would last forever and no one would buy light bulbs. So instead, they all decided to make cheap, shitty bulbs so they could continue to sell to people. This does not mean that even though the cheap, shitty bulbs were the ones people were willing to pay for, this does not mean that they were more valuable than the bulbs people weren't willing to pay for. Does not mean this. It does not mean any of that. It means that they were artificially constructing a market in order to scam out the consumer. It had nothing to do with efficiency. It had nothing to do with which was the more valuable product. It had nothing to do with any of that. This idea that capitalism is going to lead to these things, lead to proper evaluations on the value of a product, proper evaluations on the efficiency of a product. It's a nonsense talking point that doesn't actually materialize when we look at the actual reality we live in.
So to use the light bulb example, why was it then that capitalists were willing to innovate and produce LED light bulbs that are dramatically more...
Because they didn't have a choice. Because they didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
once LEDs hit the market, they didn't have a choice. They had to change.
Yeah, exactly. That's why capitalism is brilliant. So we introduced innovation where...
So capitalism is brilliant because we scammed people for years, and all of a sudden, and now that there's an unavoidable change, like a change that's unavoidable because LEDs were hitting the market anyway, so it's unavoidable. Now all of a sudden, capitalism is great. Here's a question: How much money did capitalists make off of selling light bulbs that were obsolete, planned obsolescence?
I have no idea. But just to get back to the general point, there's all kinds of products, I agree, that aren't perfect. Okay, incandescent bulbs were better than having no light bulbs at all, using actual candles, right? So they were a development over just using a candle that, ran out, that was, probably a fire hazard, was dangerous, used to run out very quickly, were probably expensive to make. So incandescent bulbs were an improvement over previous things, and they were obviously far from perfect. They were highly inefficient. As you say, all the points that you made about why incandescent bulbs
incandescent bulbs are not inefficient, actually. Incandescent bulbs, like the Centennial light bulb, has been lit for 100 years. It's one light that's been running for 100 years. What the problem is that I think it was a specific filament that they would take out and replace so the light bulbs would burn out quicker. It was planned obsolescence. Capitalism does this all the time. Why do you think we have patent holding companies? We have companies that will hold the patents of more efficient products because those efficient products would ruin their bottom line. So they don't want to put out products that might be better for the consumer, might be more valuable, might even be more cost efficient to make. But because they won't sell as much, they won't put them out.
You actually got to a really good point that I did want to touch on, which was patents. So under a free market, patents wouldn't exist. Intellectual property rights are a nonsense concept that only serve to inhibit the free market rather than promote it. So I agree, any innovation that has been stifled or any potential consumer good that hasn't been brought to market because of intellectual property is a travesty, and we should oppose intellectual property rights as vociferously as we can. And
you're insane, by the way. Just to be clear. Yeah, if you do any study on the development of technology in the West, you'll understand that patents are one of the primary drivers of that technological innovation because it maintained a competitive edge for up-and-coming businesses to set themselves apart and invest in R&D. I'll send you economic papers if you want, but no, patents are pretty well regarded by economists for what they've done.
That is absolutely false. That is 100% incorrect.
Your libertarian's mentality here is a little outdated, man.
Although I'm kind of down for screwing men with patent law. I'm just saying.
I mean, you can just accuse it of being outdated without any basis, and that's fine. But it doesn't actually refute the point that no, patents are an infringement on people's ability to use their own capital and own bodies in essence how they want to. And even if you could come up with a reason why patents might, for some arbitrary reason, be good, that wouldn't overcome that more fundamental point, which is that they're an infringement on people's ability to use their property and use their own bodies how they see fit.
Mitch, the point is patents create R&D buffers that allow people to take advantage of some intellectual property that they've developed, invest in it without having some massive corporation swoop in and grab it. The point is to drive innovation. That's why patents are there. I've got a question though.
You're cutting right against Jovan's point earlier, which was that big companies use patents to, stuff up the little guy and prevent him from innovating on their massive trove, based on their massive trove of patents that they use to basically just
doesn't go against my point actually.
Try to innovate on something.
My point isn't about.
If you're talking about,
hold on. I want Alina. Go ahead.
No, who's Jovan?
Oh, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. I didn't realize I was incorrectly pronouncing his name. I apologize.
If you're talking purely about economic growth, patents are a massive driver of that. Whether or not they create inequitable circumstances is a different conversation. That's the point that I'm making. When it comes to economic, and you're not really arguing for the ECP very well, there are some, depending on you frame it, valid elements of the ECP, and we do see some problems with past instances of economic planning. But if you're so opposed to any form of economic planning, why does a corporation like Walmart engage in it so aggressively? Why do they push out and push down bidding negotiation in favor of top-down bureaucratic structures?
Waiting for this.
Oh, you are? Okay, cool. There you go.
I was waiting for Walmart to come up. So I'm not opposed to economic planning. I'm opposed to planned economies. And there's a pretty key difference there. So I have no problem with someone coming up with a grocery list or, doing some economic forecasting to come up with a new product that they might want to innovate or produce. I don't have any problem with that at all. As long as it's within the structure of a market economy with profit and loss calculations. A planned economy removes okay, removes private direction of the factors of production and removes the market for capital goods. So there is no trade in the capital goods and there's no profit or loss calculations that can be done. So to bring your example of Walmart, Walmart is a very large economy unto itself, but it still operates within the context of a market economy. It doesn't produce from the initial stages of production, you know, the digging of raw materials all the way to the selling of the final goods. It doesn't do every single stage of production for the entire economy.
Mitch, that's fine. The point being made, ECP supporters will say that in order to run an economy efficiently, you need to have each and every little fucking feeler who is out there figuring out market conditions to be responding back in real time so that bargaining, that price negotiations can be happening all the time in order to respond to those market conditions. That's what they're saying. But the idea of Walmart putting forward these plans and ignoring some of those little economic feelers out there and still producing some pretty strong results shows that you don't need all those in real-time feelers out there. So the question is whether or not a broader committee can respond to general trends appropriately and still make good decisions. And it seems like a Walmart committee can do that. So why can't a broader social, a communal, a governmental committee do the same?
Yeah, so there's actually a really good argument for why monopolies, natural monopolies, that is, monopolies absent the state, aren't really possible, because you're right. At a certain point, a private company such as Walmart or Amazon or any other really, really large company will get to the point where it is accumulated or has control over so many factors of production that is actually not going to be as responsive to changing economic conditions as a smaller company might be, which is a great reason why we need small businesses that are more nimble and are more responsive to changing economic conditions and can notice niches in the market that bigger companies aren't touching and aren't as nimble or as capable of fulfilling to step in and provide for those consumers. So as for the reason why a government couldn't do the same thing, well, a government, if it was controlling the entire economy, wouldn't be trading in the capital goods in question, right? So it actually cannot respond. There are no market conditions to speak of. So the answer to your question
silenced him. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, sorry, I got silenced very briefly. I don't know how much of that you used. But anyway, yeah, so the reason why a government bureaucracy or a planning board or a council of people that are put in charge by the people to oversee economic planning or planned economy, I should say, well, the reason why they can't respond as well as Walmart, and especially not as well as a small business or an entrepreneur, they don't have the prices to begin with to even start doing the economic calculation. That's the key point.
I would just nominate a dungeon master, but that's just me.
Damn.
Based. I just think ANCAPs are so silly, bro.
What?
I mean, it should also ignore, by the way, the fact that we're already developing computational tools that, unironically, in a few years will probably be just as accurate in predicting a lot of different conditions as any small business would. So the funny thing is, even if the ECP did have, and actually I do think the ECP does have some validity depending on the structure you're looking at, if it did have validity, it's not going to hold the same weight anymore once we have these computational strengths where we have tons of variables.
The ECP isn't a computational problem. It's understandable why people make that mistake because it is called the economic calculation problem. But the fundamental problem of the ECP is that even if you have perfect technical knowledge of every possible combination of the factors of production through time, and if you have perfect insight into every individual's ordinal preference rankings, like, knowledge that even these highly advanced computers probably aren't going to have for a very long time, if ever, even if you give that assumption to the planned economy, you're still not going to be able to do economic calculation because the actual thing that you're trying to calculate simply does not exist if you don't allow people to exchange the factors of production between themselves.
Well, the point of some type of calculation is you can predict that. And how accurate is that prediction? Because that's essentially what you're doing when businesses invest in infrastructure or they sell a product, is they're predicting some type of value set by the market. So
I do want to really quickly, critically. I do want to say thank you, Christina, for the $10 Cash App. Thank you, Crow, for the $5 Cash App. And Crow said, Patents are silly. Look up Nintendo versus Power World, in which Nintendo is suing the Power World creators for breach of patents Nintendo filed after the release of Power World. So yeah,
that situation's kind of funny.
Shit is crazy.
No, the whole point is prediction and how accurate the predictions are. So the idea that strong models, computational models, aren't going to adjust the issues, because, I mean, if we look historically, a lot of the complaints, the ECP was kind of brought up by looking at historical instances. One of the famous ones is the steel industry in Mao's China. The fact that Mao wanted to industrialize and become a world leader in steel manufacturing, only to melt down the fucking farm equipment, and that caused some problems, we'll say. So there were some issues that
Squiddy, thank you for the 5 gifted subs over on Twitch.
There's some issue where Mao made a couple of poor choices there, and ECP advocates will often point to that, and those are valid criticisms of Mao. That doesn't necessarily transcend into a much more modern or a much more decentralized way of making these decisions, especially if you have technological aid, which we're going to have when it comes to a lot of our AI models coming up.
Yeah, so, I mean, this doesn't really, respond to the ECP. I mean, I agree people can do forecasting and make predictions about what the economy might look like down the line and plan their production processes accordingly. The ironic thing is the only way they're actually going to know if they were right or wrong about that prediction is by looking at the price of their final output and seeing, did I make a profit or did I make a loss on this particular venture? Which is one of the problems with doing a planned economy, is that, sure, you can come up with an answer, an arbitrary answer to, say, the railway example that I gave earlier. You can come up with whatever answer you want, and that's fine, you do it. You're not actually going to know whether you're right or wrong, though, in the end, because you don't know whether your venture was profitable or not.
We don't care
your framing is wrong.
We don't care about profit. So what's the issue? Profit doesn't equal success.
You should care about profit, right?
Profit does not equal success. Profit does not equal success.
A planning board is going to care about how well resources were used, how much resources were used efficiently, how much waste there was, and the particular metrics being served in the community. So did it meet financial needs? Did it meet infrastructural needs? Did it meet those needs?
So how are they going to figure out whether it met those needs or not?
It's not a hard thing to do. You have evaluators for that. The point is you can develop governmental feelers for those.
What metrics or evaluations are the evaluators going to do to figure out whether it was a successful project or not?
Wait, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Let's hold on. Let's just dive into this right now. Do you think the launch of the iPhone 16 was a successful launch? Did Apple make money on the iPhone 16?
I mean, probably. I don't know. I mean, you can answer. I can look it up. I don't know.
Okay, so
they might have.
Okay, so let's say Apple made money on the launch of the iPhone 16. Let's say the iPhone 16 was a big hit, and it right now I'm seeing that it exceeded expectations with $94.93 billion in revenue. Would you say the iPhone 16 was a success?
Well, you said revenue. I don't know about profit, but yeah, let's go with yes. Sure, why not?
Sure. Even though in order for the iPhone 16 to get where it was, it had to engage in slave labor in the Congo?
Well, yeah, if Apple is engaging in slave labor, then I don't support that.
But I'm asking if it was a success. It was if it's profitable, it should be a success in your boat. Doesn't matter how it got there. The profit exists, right?
Well, there's a difference between something being a financial success for a business and being a success in terms of something we should desire as a society, right? So yeah,
then it's not all about. So then it's not all about profits.
No, I agree. There are certain moral presuppositions that are necessary for us to take into account. I'm just saying, once those are factored in, once you actually once we're talking about economics, once we're talking about finances, once we're talking about how the economy should be organized, once we have figured out what those moral presuppositions should be, what the law should be about what behaviors people are allowed to conduct themselves in, a market-based economy is the best way to organize an economy.
I mean, I think I effectively made my point in this last conversation.
I mean, sure, you can say that if you want. I don't support slave labor, obviously. It's a violation of people's natural rights. They should have full bodily autonomy over themselves. So obviously I don't support slave labor. So the desirable society that I would want is a society that outlaws slave labor, outlaws various other infringements on people's natural rights, and then within the scope of what is legally acceptable, we have a market-based economy where people are free to exchange goods and services in accordance with the law.
That's fine. You're just not making the point.
I was just going to ask if you had anything.
Oh yeah, just not making the point when it comes to how we can't have democratic or responsive feelers that are elected or that are commissioned in order to determine these things. Because again, you need to point out a specific issue. The problem when you don't understand pricing is you're not understanding the associated value that a consumer might have towards an item. But that value can be studied not through the intermediate pricing issue, but directly. Commissions can figure that out. There are models that can figure that out. And that's something that we can invest in. So I feel like you're not making the fundamental point because, again, pricing mediates investment and value. It's not one-to-one for it.
Yeah, that's fine. I still don't think that that's a refutation of the ECP at all. Yeah, people can engage in whatever kind of forecasting or economic planning they want. It doesn't override the simple point that you need to have prices and you need to allow people to exchange capital goods in order to have a successful economy that can actually.
Okay, what does pricing do?
What does
Why is
pricing
pricing relevant?
It allows you to figure out how much people value stuff.
Yes. So instead of doing it through pricing, you can just figure out what people value and how much they value it through other means, correct?
How?
Through governmental commissions or other community efforts or democratic representation or voting or so many other mechanisms can do that exact same thing. The thing about pricing is expedient because you can vote with your wallet more efficiently. But the idea that we can't either forecast that, as you said, or do it directly by getting that information from people, that does the exact same thing.
Well, it doesn't because you're not. See, the key problem here is you're not. People aren't required to absorb the cost of foregoing the thing that they value next in exchange for that particular thing. So you can say, hey, would you like to have a Ferrari? And a lot of people might say yes, but are they willing to forego all the other potential things they could buy with the amount of money they need to afford a Ferrari? Do you actually know that without them actually going out and making that purchase or not making that purchase? No, you don't. So the fundamental problem with doing a survey, democratic.
Hey guys, real quick pause from purgatory if we could. I'm just going to throw this one out here because I think Chairman Mao said it. If you send anyone on the panel, including Jovan, any of the animal gifts that are over 100 coins, we will make said animal sound that includes the crab and the meerkat. Thank you.
Oh, gotta go.
Craigley will 100% do this. Send him the gifts.
Nope. Sorry.
Anyway, chat's getting bored with this conversation, so we're going to move on.
Also, I still have a recording of Critically doing a dog bark, so if anyone wants to buy that off me, you're welcome.
You have the bark?
Y'all are insane. Y'all are unhinged.
No, I do.
How much, Christian?
For you, free.
Okay, thank you. DM me.
Oh, you bastard.
That's what you get for following us
maybe
into
don't bark, bro.
ANCAP territory. Just don't ever do it, and maybe it'll be safe.
This is what happens when people take over the guest requests when I'm supposed to be in charge.
You got a corgi, Katie.
Yep.
Craigley actually DM'd me and said that he would do all of my gifts.
No, you're doing it. You are doing it.
He did.
And if you're not doing it, then I'm not doing it, and I'm not doing it anyway. So
we're all doing it because I promised it.
You'll do it.
Well, listen, I have to pee. I'm gonna bring in the next guest. You guys determine if they're here to debate or not. I gotta go tinkle.
Okay. Also, I think you brought Craigley up, right?
I did bring Craigley up.
I'm not even a mod. Scam.
Rainy, since you paid for it, I'll just do it for Katie.
It's 9:15.
I'm gonna cry.
I'm just trying to get a crab or two.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Jubilant.
Hi there.
Hello.
Nice to see you guys again. Good morning.
So y'all aren't here.
I've never seen you in my life.
Economy, are you?
Oh, I apologize. I was on this chat last week. I was just trying to drop in and give a friendly critique for you guys were doing Feminism Fridays.
Oh, goody. Excuse me, just 1 second. Clickety,
Oh, yeah,
clickety, clackety. Crab people.
What?
Is he gone?
I got
I'm
crabs.
lost in the sauce. They have chlamydia? What? What happened? What does that mean?
The
Explain.
crabs.
I got the crabs. I hate it now.
Yeah, what's happening?
What happened? Well, they're gone now. Unfortunate. Dom?
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Unfortunately. Okay. I'm teasing. What's up, man?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know. What's this? Men don't want wives. They want mummies, maids, and nannies. That seems like a very blanket statement. No? I thought we were supposed to debate this, I guess.
Oh, do you? Yeah, I
disagree with that.
All statements characterizing things are going to be a little bit blanket. What's the issue?
Yeah, fair enough. I just disagree with it. I feel like that's quite a niche thing. It could be like an internet thing or something.
Like there's probably gay guys out there that want daddies.
Yeah, no,
I'm
not.
What are the feminine versions of maids and nannies? I don't fucking know. Maybe
Masters and Deuteronomy readers. I don't know.
Okay.
Real quick before Rue yells at me, Kristen, Rue would like a cut of the profit from the crickly barking because that was her live and she made him do it.
That is valid copyright, and when I find it, I will send you that 20%, babes. But it's free, so it doesn't really matter.
I'm going to host my own live. Women only want pets. That's my next topic.
Are you calling us animals?
No, I'm saying you want pets.
You're trying to cage me critically? Because
pets don't speak.
Oh no, it's too early.
So,
God help me.
Yeah, so Dom, are you aware of the amount of unpaid labor women typically do?
Yeah, well, there's unpaid labor on both sides. At least where I live, like it seems to be quite like a equal thing.
Really? Do you have stats for that?
Well, no, just from my experience where I live. I don't know.
Okay,
it seems like okay, you don't care about that. Yeah, well, there's labor on both sides. Like it seems like it depends on what the relationship dynamic is. Like I don't know.
Yeah, sure. So, Alina, do you have the stats for? I know Jovan has a study, but obviously he's not here right now.
I wasn't paying attention. What is it?
Yeah,
the stats for women's unpaid labor compared to men's.
Well, I can kind of throw in one if Alina needs.
No, you can go.
Okay.
I fucking hate talking about on the wage gap.
So, the census report in the last several years has indicated one really standout thing for me, that, a lot of men bring up that they work more hours, which is kind of true because typically they're not in charge of childcare and actually calling out for things. But it's only about 2 weeks worth in a fiscal year, whereas men also clock about 6 more weeks of leisure time, and this is often due to women working what we call second shift, because not only are they working 40-hour weeks plus, but then they also have to do the unpaid labor, which means the domestic work, cleaning, childcare, doctor's appointments, so on.
And you're saying that because women do more domestic work, that this constitutes men wanting mummies, maids, and nannies.
I'm simply pointing out that men typically like to fall into a life where they only see themselves as bringing home a paycheck, where they're not often doing things like parenting, which is the mommies, maids, which is the child work, nannies, which is once again child rearing. And on average, thank you, Thickless, it's 8.3 hours daily for men, 8.1 for women, so not even in weeks. The breakdown is very small when it comes to working paid labor.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know. I suppose it depends on what people want to have in the relationship. I don't know.
Well, it's not just that, actually.
To, like, do that shit.
Huh?
We can.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
No, go ahead, critically.
I was just gonna say it's not even just about like when there's an unequal like workload when one is the breadwinner. Even when both the man and the woman are both the breadwinners, the woman still does more household chores, household activities.
She does when she's the breadwinner too. If you look at statistics, when the
Mm-hmm.
woman is the one earning the majority of income in the household, so she's the one working, she still engages in typically about 3 times the household labor that the man does.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I suppose I'm against that. I just kind of looked at the line that was up there and didn't really think that this was the issue. Yeah, no, I suppose I'd be against that. I feel like it should really match the amount of work done. So, say if the woman is the breadwinner and is working longer hours, the man should do more.
Well, and that is kind of the fundamental issue when it comes to things like male privilege, is that they often don't even understand that, essentially they're not contributing to a lot of the work because they see it as women's work, and thus women just fall into it. It's an expectation.
Yeah, no, I don't think that really should be. I don't think that really should be a thing. I think people should do fair share with regards to if you're working longer hours, you should have to do less housework, tech, and then the opposite.
Well, I would say that this just decries that some work is more important than others. So by labeling it this way, like let's say there are kids at home, right? So there's 2 toddlers. The mom is home all day with the toddlers. The dad works all day. The dad works from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. He comes home. Should he have to engage in any household labor since he's worked all day?
A wee bit, yeah. I don't know. I feel like, yeah.
I'd say he should engage in 50% of whatever is at the house. Because the mom has been working all day taking care of 2 toddlers. So they've both been engaging in labor all day.
Yeah, I guess it really depends what work the father does. Like if the father is out there doing like hard manual labor all day, I suppose.
Have you taken care of 2 toddlers before?
He could take. Yeah, I have.
That's hard manual labor. He could take.
I don't think it's the same as like breaking blocks or anything like that.
You're right. I actually think it's worse because you're responsible for the life of 2 human beings.
I would much rather leave the house and do other stuff.
And also, I think like, when did she get a break then?
Yeah, I just think like the mental stress of, I think the mental stress of having to be responsible and keep 2 small human beings alive, and also teaching them how to be people, is probably a lot more strenuous than breaking blocks.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think when he has his days off, he should switch and suppose give them other time off. But like, I don't know. Like you have to do your fair share when you're finished work. You clean up after yourself. You might cook a meal. You might do different things. I suppose it depends on the relationship. But like,
and it's not just
because they're both working equal hours. Let's say they're just doing different tasks. I don't know why his work is deemed more important.
I don't think it's deeming it more important. I think it's more like the physical strain. Like if you're sitting at a cubicle all day, like I can understand, yeah, maybe it's not, you wouldn't be as, it wouldn't be strenuous work, but like if you're
I'm
laying
sorry, but
blocks
I would gladly take a physical job over sitting in a cubicle, because I have a computer job, and that literally is the most draining thing, being like talking to people all day, and no, I'd much rather be moving around and doing stuff.
Yeah, and
Like,
I think we're
mental labor
kind
is
of
still labor.
discounting the emotional labor involved, the educational labor involved, the not only mental, physical labor, safety that they have to worry about. There's so many multi-purpose functions with childcare in particular. And God forbid, let's say she's pregnant. What kind of physical labor is that?
if she's pregnant.
It also misses the social context, where being a household mom or stay-at-home wife or whatever is a pretty significant sacrifice, in that it prevents you from taking steps in a career that's valued by the broader society around us. You don't gain the same amount of social or symbolic capital as you would if you were at a firm, if you were making progress in your career, if you were getting certifications, if you were getting promotions. Those are all going to set you up for a particular future that when you're a mom, you don't have those same benefits. So the fact that that's a pretty significant sacrifice, yet it's simultaneously valued less by society, is a pretty scary situation for a lot of women to put themselves in.
Yeah, I can recognize that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just your own choice at the end of the day. If you choose to have kids, you have to be prepared.
I don't think it's a choice for a lot of women. A lot of women are financially dependent on their like partners, so they don't really have a choice. They're kind of
Or they understand the constructs of like having children, and then men aren't stepping up, so they understand that they have to step up because there's no other way.
A lot of men don't show this like opting out until after marriage or even after a kid's been born. So the woman isn't just gonna go, oh, I have this kid now and my husband isn't stepping up, so I'm just gonna stop taking care of it. At that point, it's not a choice. They have to look after their kid.
Well, that's a brutal situation, I'm sure, but
it's common.
Is it the majority of cases though? I'm not sure.
I don't think it matters if it's the majority of cases. It's common.
Well, yeah, I don't know. That's bad.
Like this has been going on for years. The fact is that men are typically more involved in a child's life where it comes to areas of things like play, and not involved in the role of actually caring for the child.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I still think like hold the opinion that I said at the start, that it should be relatively equal on that sense. But like, I don't know, it depends on the situation. Some people, like, I'm sure some people rather taking care of the child than going out and working all day. Like that is a like what people like to do at the same time, and some people might not like that choice, and that's a bad situation. But like, I don't know, I still hold the view that I said at the start.
You keep kind of alluding that working is only the paid labor too, and I don't want to stray too far, but can I ask you, Dom, are you partnered? Do you have children yourself?
No, I don't have children.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I have a partner, but we kind of just work. We work 2 jobs, so I don't know. It's just like it seems quite a large statement to say that men don't want wives, that they want nannies and the like.
On average, women engage in 49 minutes of household chores a day, while men engage in 19. This is the average. This is the average distribution. If men didn't want maids, nannies, mommies, they would engage in more household labor.
Yeah, and I think that should change. I have no real qualms with that changing at all. I just don't think that characterization of it is completely genuine, in the sense that that's what they want. Maybe that's how it laid out, and maybe some people should change their behavior in order to change that. But I don't know.
I think the reason a lot of I won't say a lot, but I think the reason why there are women that want this sort of relationship is because they've been conditioned to want this sort of relationship, because it's the thing that's been thrust upon them most in their lives. That you'll be happiest as a homemaker, you'll be happiest as a mom, you'll be happiest as a wife, instead of you'll be happy doing what actually fulfills you. How many people? I mean, how many? I would love to know how many wives or mothers, if we surveyed, will tell us what they originally wanted to do with their adult lives, and how many of that will be wives, mothers. I think you'll see a vast difference.
Very much so.
I guess that's
and like I would just point to even just looking at how little girls are raised in our toys. And I dare anyone who's up here who maybe isn't married, or anyone in the chat or hasn't had kids, male or female, how quickly do women get asked, when are you getting married, when are you having kids? It's always the first priority, not our careers and our success and our happiness.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that depends on, I suppose, the country you live in or what area you live in. Where I live, it isn't particularly thrust on women to become homemakers. There's like quite a large push for women to get into STEM fields and that type of stuff. I don't know. I think despite some conditioning that exists in our society, like at the end of the day, if a woman wants to be a homemaker and it's her choice to become a homemaker, she should be allowed to do that. I get your point on being a stay-at-home mother. There is quite a lot of work there, like taking care of children when you're out, teaching the child when they're young.
Well, wait, have you guys been referring to the homemakers? Because I don't think I was ever referring to homemakers specifically myself. I was, more so talking about women who are working both inside and out. Okay, I'm just making sure.
No worries. Well, that's all I kind of really have on that point. I don't know. Earlier there was some person talking about how patents shouldn't exist. How are you supposed to start a business without like having some security of your idea? I think that like completely ruins the idea of what, like, if you support a capitalism is, that you can come up with an idea.
Not to get into theory, but like patents wouldn't exist in a communist society because all invention would be for the community. So one single person can't hold on to a patent because there would be no reason to hold on to patents because there's no money. So actually, let me just phrase it that way. Patents would become obsolete because you can't make a profit.
Yeah, I guess just on that point, it was like, I don't particularly see what he was saying as the problem with patents as a particular problem with capitalism per se. I think it's more on the side of like the government and how legal protections aren't being put in place for people just sitting on patents and companies and that.
No, he's like a dumb, old-fashioned Austrian economics person who thinks that like all actors in the market are on a relatively equal playing field, and there's no such thing as pressures or all that other bullshit. Therefore, patents are bad because they quote unquote stifle people's ability to, innovate for themselves and do what they want and all that bull. Yeah, no. He's a libertarian type that doesn't actually care about good economic theory.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't particularly make sense for patents not to be a thing, just a typical mixture or capitalist society. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like capitalism patents are good.
Oh, well. What is the case? Because I'm not from America, fairly obviously. Like, what is the case with people banning books? I keep seeing these stories about, school in Alabama bans book because it depicts like someone being gay or something. I saw a lot of that. Is that true? Or am I just reading shit?
No, that's very true. And I think a lot of the same structuring when we talk about men who, don't really want wives, they want mommies and nannies and maids. It comes from our kind of hyper independent. We're not a Christian country, but there's a lot of, evangelicalism here that kind of frames the nuclear family. And these are the same people who essentially want to ban books that have anything to do with, racial equity, with gender equity, the things that should be taught and should be learned.
Yeah, that's a bit crazy. Like, it does seem like it's just like a circus, the whole political scene there, because I saw this story about, I don't know what her name is. She's this blonde, like older, like crazy person. What's her
Her
name?
name Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, that's her. And I saw this story about her, and she's like a real Christian, and she went up to Washington and was like harassing these senators. And then it came out that despite her being Christian and all of this, she was having this big affair with her gym person or something like that. And despite being like this evangelical Christian, she's just like committing adultery on her husband and stuff like that. It's actually
that all very much tracks in our country, but I would also, just to move away from women being kind of pointed out for that, I mean, look at who we just, elected as president. 3 affairs, one with a corn star. So I mean, and he courted the Christian vote, so it's par for the course here, if you will.
Yeah, it just seems to go completely against Christianity, like the essence of what he is. Like he went bankrupt a couple of times and just left like so many people out to dry. It just doesn't seem like the most Christian person.
I lost what we're talking about. Are we ready to bring in a new disagreement?
See you, Dom.
Bye, Dom.
Yeah, I seem to in agreement everywhere else, basically. Good shit.
It's a little bit of a slower. I think tomorrow will be when we have predominantly femme voices. That seems to goat the that seems to get the conservatives goat for Feminist Friday. Also, guys, remember the tip goal. If you want to continue to see streams, if you want these to keep happening, hit that tip goal.
Or we just start doing all like feminist beauty pageant answers. Like, hi, my name's Kristen. I'm a 3rd wave feminist. I'm really active in like my local community. I hate men, and I'm ready for world peace. Thanks.
L. But that's just because I'm sexist.
Rude.
This person's
Holy
back.
Chad.
Tamia, thank you for the Cash App. Everybody say W to Mia.
Good morning.
W to Mia.
This person isn't an op. Why do people keep bringing them up?
What? I thought they said they disagreed with something.
I do actually have a brief thing to add for what's coming up tomorrow. I've been watching the right wing agitators, rabble rousers, and bot farms, and a thing that I hope you guys keep in mind tomorrow whenever you're debating the anti-feminist sorts out there is that they genuinely hate feminism, even though it benefits them as well.
Are you fucking kidding me right now? Did you really come in here to mansplain how to talk to anti-feminists?
I'm telling you what I saw, and I feel it's important. If you're trying to reach to the men who are calling in and trying to get cookies or whatever, like there's a lot of incel types and people who are trying to encourage more incel types to exist.
Yeah, please tell me about incels. I've never heard of that.
God, I'm aware there's a lot of them. I'm just saying, they're very self-focused, and while we all know that feminism benefits everybody, a lot of them genuinely don't understand how it benefits them.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Wow.
By freeing everyone from gender roles, everyone prospers.
I really
I know. I'm sorry if I'm missing sarcasm.
Did you write that down, Katie?
Wonderful.
I'm trying to be polite. I just really hold on. Sorry, talking.
Sorry.
What do you think that you're telling us that we don't already know?
I thought I'd bring it up because I watched what happened last Feminist Friday, and understanding that you guys have every right to complain about the shit going on, my point was simply that some of these people genuinely think that anyone who is a feminist is actively their enemy. And I know you know, and I know you're all very smart and up to date on this sort of thing. I just wanted to throw out there, like, as a potential thing you could do, is try and explain to whatever caller how they directly have benefited and would benefit from continuing. I assure you, this is not meant. This is not meant. This isn't meant to be mean or anything. It's just trying to be helpful. I want to see everybody win.
I understand what you're trying to do, but we know this, right? And like, there are some people that we will explain that to. Like, I've talked to men about the fact that toxic masculinity is harmful to them. Like, we're not saying masculinity is toxic. We're saying that you are harming yourself and others when you work in this framework of masculinity. We do that. That's why Alina is being sarcastic with you, is because like you're talking to a bunch of femme people about things that we 1000% know already.
And I know you know. It's the like, from what I saw a couple of times last time you guys had the topic come up, was just, it was the expert problem, you know, where a mathematician who has a degree in mathematicianizing will explain all sorts of advanced mathematical concepts whenever occasionally their audience is still trying to grasp with long division.
Yeah, so if you want to run lives where you explain the basics of feminism to men who don't know, then you can do that. But
Absolutely.
I would advise against centering your own view on these topics and your own view on how these topics should be addressed in a live where, especially on Feminism Fridays, it is a femme-centered space.
Granted, I wanted to, like, some of those people I felt could be reached, and I know I'm aware of all this. I was just
them.
Then you go and reach them. Don't tell us how we should. You reach them. That shouldn't be our work. It is not our job to explain to oppressors how they're oppressing.
Nor was I asking you to.
That's exactly what you're doing.
I was trying to explain how that they themselves are also oppressed and they could be much better off.
So you're not asking us to explain to oppressors how we're oppressed. You're asking us to explain to oppressors how they're oppressed.
Yeah, in some ways, because some of these
people...
Right,
do you hear how silly that sounds? Do you hear how silly that sounds when you are a man who could be doing that, who could be going and saying, I'm gonna run lives, I'm gonna create a space for these men that I think can be reached. I don't think that femme people should have to do this work.
Okay, and I'd be happy to run lives and such.
Do it.
You guys already had a cool platform with a bunch of people listening.
I do find it fascinating that the only critique you had for the entire course load of the week was Femme Fridays.
Oh no, I had other cool stuff to talk about, but I was trying to stay
on
the one topic.
I didn't say cool stuff, I said critique. You called it a critique.
Yes, and it was a gentle, like, it was meant well.
Well, do you see the problem with it?
Hang on, sorry. Anyway, yes, I understand how it sounds and how it comes off in a...
It's not about how it sounds and how it comes off. It's about what it is. When we take it down to the basics, you are telling femme people who... Alina pretty much runs this live on Fridays. Like, Alina is head of house. Last Friday, she was on it. There was only femme people on the panel, right? And
pretty cool.
you are telling femme people, as you just said, to explain to their oppressors how they are also oppressed by the thing that is oppressing us, instead of taking that, seeing a gap where work needs to be done, which is great recognition, awesome, thank you for seeing that. Do it yourself. Go and do it yourself. If you want to be an actual ally to femme people, do it yourself. Do not come up here and tell us how we can better our fight. Fight with us, right? Because this is just centering yourself in a femme space and asking femme people to do more work.
Yeah, one thing I'll point out, Jubilant, because I know your intent here is good, but Katie and Alina are absolutely right. They also don't typically listen to us with the same like kind of fervent excitement that they would listen to you or give us the same credibility. So I think this would be that would be a great opportunity for you to hold those spaces and invite us, and we'll I'll happily come up and help you out. And if you have ideas, we can springboard them off. I don't know why I'm being so nice to men today, guys. I don't know what's in the water. Fluoride?
I'm about to drop you.
Like, I don't blame you.
Absolutely. The only thing that was holding me back on that front, aside from being a nobody, I know I can work on that, but was just in some ways, like a little scatterbrained, and I would love if you could toss me a link to a resource for feminism so I can keep current, because I have the vague gist, but sometimes
Google.
Like right now words are going.
Google is an excellent resource.
But where? Sorry.
Oh no, dude! I really.
No, I didn't hear that last sentence. I apologize.
Yeah, she said Google. My guy. Okay. Because like you're really.
Yeah. No, I know. I appreciate.
No, I don't think you do. I don't think you do, because you're still saying I know in that tone, right? I don't think you do. And like you're up here telling us how to work with these men. I think you need to take a step back and look at your own downfalls in this area, which is not like a slight to you. It sounds like you are listening. It sounds like you are trying, and that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. But you are literally just doing the meme. You're doing the bit right now.
Oh, dang, I hate being comedy pieces. All right. Well, either way, I do wish you guys luck with it, all the same.
Man, the sidebar commentary is not helpful, though. I'm just going to point that out to you. Like, I know that this is tough lovin', but, like, when you give unsolicited advice, when you give unsolicited, oh my God, I'm talking. When you give unsolicited advice, it's going to come off condescending, especially in this kind of space. I'm just going to be honest with you. So feel free, like, you can always hit me up and we'll talk it out, and I'll explain this to you if you need, but like it's not the place, the time, or the audience.
My apologies for that.
We appreciate the apology, dude. Thank you.
Good luck all the same.
I really like Alina's bark, and I feel like someone should send Katie a corgi too. I'm just putting that out there.
I didn't consent to barking.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the prompts.
Sure, which one?
Well, I don't really like all of the prompts. I guess I can start with the first one. I don't know why Democrats think that Trump's economy would be bad. I don't know why y'all think that.
Kevin, you're on mute, but I know what you're saying.
Oh, two things. One, was that Alina barking that whole time?
Yep.
That's crazy. Two, do you see a Democrat up here? Where are they? Who's the Democrat?
Hi, everybody. My name is Harry Sisson.
Jason, I don't know why y'all hate on MAGA when it's not.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you tried talking to Democrats about it? I don't know.
Have you tried talking to MAGA?
Okay, but does anybody have a refute?
Sure, yeah. Trump's policies are going to be bad for the economy because broad tariffs are always bad for the economy. Because that's kind of how tariffs work.
American manufacturing.
They won't bring back American manufacturing. The last time he did broad tariffs, we lost manufacturing. We lost 250 manufacturing jobs. We didn't gain any. So.
Okay, but it brought it back to America.
It didn't. We lost 250 manufacturing jobs via his last tariffs. We did not gain any manufacturing jobs.
Can you provide a source on that? Because I know you Democrats like to lie a lot.
Yes, I can.
What, did you hear that on CNN?
I don't know. Once again,
I heard that from the Department of the Bureau of Labor.
These are some big brain talking points.
Like, I have a whole hoodie that says "Communists see you next Tuesday." So I mean, like, I don't think I fall in line with Democrats.
It's basically the same thing.
Hey, real quick, anybody want to read what's on the board? What's on the board right now? Anybody want to read that for me?
Oh, Reuters is biased.
Anybody want to read that? Do you think Reuters is the source? You stupid.
U.S.-China trade war
post biased news.
Is he done? Okay. U.S.-China trade war has cost up to 245,000 U.S. jobs, business groups study.
So just real quick, is Reuters the source here, or is Reuters reporting on a source?
Yeah, but whatever they report
is Reuters the source? Yes or no?
It's all left biased. I don't know.
The source? Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Reuters.
Can I just check something? I just want to check this
So
comprehensive.
Reuters is right leaning.
Can you show us how Reuters is biased? Can you demonstrate this?
Yeah. So one time they had a story.
You're gonna demonstrate a bias and start with one time.
Okay. Well, I can't.
Reuters is biased, but they're biased to the right. By the way, let's be clear about that.
Now, but I know they have issues. Anyways, let's move on from that.
So you can't demonstrate the bias?
Maybe.
Okay.
But let's move on.
Well, I'd like you to admit you were wrong first.
Admit I was wrong about what?
About the fact that we lost jobs via the last time we did tariffs. We did not gain manufacturing jobs. We lost jobs. There's no This is just a simple fact.
Let me think about it. I don't know what I'm agreeing to. Hold on.
You don't know what you're agreeing to? I just told you what it was.
Yeah, but there's always some hidden.
I'll make it real simple. Did we lose jobs the last time Trump did tariffs or not?
Sure.
Right.
Concession, yay. Yeah, do we have an age check on this guy?
You give furries a bad reputation.
What does that have to do with the argument?
Why is your name
he
furry?
clocked you. Javon is a furry. Don't let him tell you anything else.
No. Because I mess with furries. I like.
Here comes a crash out, bro.
You what?
Are you hitting on our Javon?
No.
Are you crashing out right now, dog?
I'm just saying furries are cool people.
Why are you crashing out right now?
This is me and Jovan.
No, because what? Huh?
Are furries a marginalized group?
Oh my god, y'all look so cute.
Are furries a marginal? What?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, are they a marginalized group?
No. What?
All right, so why do we care if Jovan gives them a bad name?
I care that he gives them a bad name.
That's great. Why do we?
Because I care, and I'm gonna explain why.
I don't care what you care about.
Do you are you like some type of furry poser? Like, do you just wear that name like for fun?
Wait, can I ask you something? Why are you getting so emotional right now?
Because I think furries are cool, and you're making them not cool for me.
Okay. Wait, is pet play still cool with you?
And
pet play? I don't subscribe to any of those ideas.
Oh well, then I don't care.
First of all, just so that everyone's aware, my name is this way because the furries paid me to change my name this way. So take it up with the furries.
That's a DNC lie. That's a DNC lie.
Where's Midnight? Where's what's his name? What was his name, Alina?
You're paid
Midnight?
by furries and the DNC.
I really wish your mom had a DNC.
I'm sorry, are we done?
Got him.
Is this real life?
I think Jarby realized that he couldn't debate, and so now he's having an epic crash out.
No, I can definitely.
No, you can't. You're having a crash out. You're crashing out right now.
I'm not pro furry MAGA. That's impressive.
I don't know why y'all gentrified that word. Do you know what that means? Can you define that?
What crash out means?
Yeah.
Wait, define gentrified.
Define.
It's like
My
that
guy, what are you doing?
Flesh to furry to fantasy. Flesh to fantasy.
Like, I just like my guy. You're acting like furries are like a marginalized group, and Jovan is like appropriating it or something.
They
this
are.
is fucking
It's
ridiculous.
it's a lifestyle, and he doesn't take it seriously. Like, his name is Furries. He
True.
thinks because
That's an
he puts on
ideology,
some
bro.
glowing headphones that he can be a furry, and that's not.
no, that's
not
not
wicked. That's not the lifestyle.
Jovan,
Yeah, he only rents his furry suits. He doesn't buy them. It's very sad.
What a
Hey Jovan, do you
Right, like, where's your
furry?
persona? Do you have a real?
I think his persona is inside like the furry suit, like the person.
Yeah, and it's like, and then the left just wants to be rude and laugh at what people say. We can't have a
You laughed
productive
at my pet
conversation.
play, so I don't know what you're on about.
I didn't laugh at pet play. I just said I don't subscribe to those
My
ideas.
guy, I've explained to you why I'm laughing though. You're acting like furries are a marginalized community and Jovan is appropriating something. Furries are not a marginalized group.
They are.
I didn't say he's
They are,
appropriate.
Katie.
I didn't say
I
he's
said you're
appropriating
acting
anything.
like. Can you hear? I
Wait,
said
can
you're
Jovan
acting
appropriate
like.
things?
I'm not acting like anything. I
Yes,
just
you
told
are.
you. I said he is opposed to their lifestyle.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to convince people that he's actually 3 furries in a crowd. He's being serious.
Okay.
Guys, if we don't get some pet gifts, I'm gonna be super sad about this.
Jovan, go and
Good
get your
opportunity.
furry coat out, please.
Anyways, we need to get back on topic. Besides him,
That's not
being
the word anyway. That's the
a
first thing we need to address.
furry tourist.
Wait, how old are you, man?
I'm 18.
Okay.
A furry tourist is crazy.
But
Hey Jovan, how often do you click morning lives?
Apparently, it's gonna have to be more often. Currently, it's 0.
You gotta clip this shit.
Oh shit! I got the hamster.
Why do y'all think
what the
Trump
fuck
is unfit to be president?
See, Kristen's a furry.
You want the list?
Send me a hamster.
Hold on, guys. Let's do the list. Here comes the list. Here comes the list. Here comes the list about why Trump is. Shut up. Here comes the list about why Trump is unfit to be president. Number 1, he's an adjudicated rapist. Number 2, he's a liar. Number 3, he's a thief. Number 4, he's a cheater. Number 5, he tried to overthrow the U.S. government. Number 6, he's ugly. Number 7, he's a fraudster.
That was uncalled
Number
for.
8, he doesn't pay people. Number 9, he says weird shit about 10-year-olds, like I would date them in 10 years. Number 10, he walked into women's dressing rooms. Number 11, he doesn't understand what tariffs are. Number 12, he struck a deal with OPEC that caused OPEC to rise gas prices by leveraging U.S. military help with Afghanistan. Or, I'm sorry, with Saudi Arabia. Number 13, nobody likes him. Number 14, he has a really shitty spray tan.
That's not true.
Number 15, he wants to annex Mexico and Canada and make them part of the United States. Something dictators like to do. What are we at? Number 16, he doesn't know how the border works. Number 17, he limited legal immigration during his time in office. Where are we at? 18. How many more of these do you want me to keep doing? I can keep going.
I mean, you kind of lost me. I felt like
I know, because it's really hard to keep up when you're not as fast
the
as
only
me.
thing that I heard was something about Canada and Mexico, but you keep doing these personal attacks.
What personal attack did I do? Besides him being
ugly and
ugly.
likes
He's objectively ugly though, so that's not a personal attack.
Objectively ugly?
Yes.
What? Based on what?
Have you looked at him? You think Donald Trump's attractive?
I don't think any type of
If
way.
he's ugly or he's attractive. So if you disagree with me that he's ugly, do you think he's attractive?
He's He's not ugly.
This guy's a furry that wants to fuck Donald Trump. Wow.
Like,
Okay.
have you
Okay,
ever
well,
seen? Wait, have you ever seen Grendel
wait,
from
why are
Beowulf,
you
but like made
assuming
in
my
clay and then
identity?
melting in the sun? Why are you talking when I'm
Furry
talking?
isn't an identity, my guy. I was gonna say, do you know what Donald Trump thinks of furries? Donald Trump thinks that furries are delusional and think that they're actually animals. So I don't know. Take that with Trump, I guess.
Yeah, his fur reasoning is not solid.
You're done.
I'm sorry.
Drop, please.
Avatar Katie, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said Donald Trump thinks that furries are delusional and
Look,
think
guys,
that they are actually animals.
It's the pinnacle of attractiveness,
he never
Donald
said
Trump.
that. He would never do that.
Look, guys, look, please look. Pinnacle of the male physique, Donald Trump.
Oh, it's too early to be this turned on, Javon.
Edited photos on
This
here
isn't
to make
edited.
him
This
look
is
bad.
quite literally an unedited, unfiltered photo of Donald Trump.
This is
Wait, is it actually?
Have you ever stood in front of a t-shirt cannon that went off, but like the t-shirt didn't come out and it was just orange Cheeto dust? It's that.
I don't find that funny. That's not
Great.
Okay,
Other than
guys,
let's
that's
keep
funny.
going
Good.
though. Other than him being ugly, what personal attack did I make on him?
that nobody likes him.
They don't.
Okay, but then why did everybody vote for him?
They didn't.
Then why did he win?
Because more people voted for him than didn't vote for him.
Oh.
All right, let me rephrase that. More
Also-
people voted. That's not
also,
true, actually.
newsflash.
More people voted for him than the other candidate. Let's just do real quick, Katie. Let's just do some quick math guess. How many voting age Americans are there?
$200 million.
Wait, are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought
yeah,
he was asking Katie.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
guess
thought you said
200 million.
It's real easy. There are quite literally 262 million voting age Americans in the United States of America. 262. How many votes did he get?
Wasn't it like 70?
70 votes?
No, like 70 million. Like, why would it be 70 votes?
Because you said 70.
Okay.
So when we look at the election results, Donald Trump received 77 million votes.
Oh, I was close.
What percentage of 262,000 is 77 million?
It's like 30%.
So he only got 30% of people in the country to vote for him. He didn't even get half the country to vote for him. Thanks. Simple
Would
math.
you have made the same argument for Harris?
Yes.
Also, I do just want to add that everyone would include people outside of the United States, and we think he's a laughingstock, as do, like the leaders of other nations.
You know, I heard if they decided to make another Pennywise movie, that he's maybe on the top list for casting if Bill's not fucking available.
That would be awesome. I would love to see that.
You know, we can agree on that. I would watch that.
I don't believe this guy's 18.
I am 18. I am 18.
Are you a registered voter, Joe?
Yeah, I voted.
You vote for
Trump.
Trumpies?
Yeah, I voted for Trump.
Greg, can you
Why would you do
name
that to
me?
your family?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do this. Can you name me 3 policies of Donald Trump's you voted for him for?
Yeah, so I was actually gonna get to that. The main reason why I voted was mainly because of his connection with Elon Musk, right? That I feel like they could make good economic policies because he has a lot of money. Why is that funny?
This is a joke, right?
No, it's
Bro, both of them are subsidized by everything. It's crazy.
but it's like why
What
why
you
would
just
Larry
said
King try to explain?
is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
They all float.
You brought back the classics. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah, the
Someone
fact that
said
you like the guy
facts.
that like jumps up and down in the shape of an X because he likes jacking off over a social media platform is kind of crazy.
Okay, well that's not appropriate, but oh, and I wanted
know
to
what
talk.
else
Neither is
Man, I
he.
love voting in
to
people
Taylor
that abuse their
Swift.
kids, dog. It's the
You said
greatest
what?
thing.
What happened?
I said that you know what else is inappropriate? Elon Musk's creepy, non-consensual tweets about Taylor Swift and telling her that he would impregnate her. How is that cool?
I forgot about that.
This guy's not real.
Yvonne, you got a bear, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna need
no,
you to
I'm
make a
not
bear
real. I
noise.
forgot that he did that. I can't say that no more.
Not gonna lie, I thought like people who were this supportive of furries would be more progressive.
That's what I'm saying. We got a MAGA furry here.
I'm not being serious. I forgot Elon Musk said that. I had like a joke to run, but I'm not gonna do that no more.
I appreciate that, and I think MAGA furries are just Muppets, but like the
I'm
Fraggly Rock
not
Muppets.
MAGA or anything. I'm not being serious. So
You
I just
think
forgot.
this is-
I forgot. Elon
Yeah, we could have
Musk
guessed.
said that. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's what your mom said when you were born.
Got him.
That one was crazy. All right, before we call it for the day, do we have any final donations and tips y'all want to hit up? Any final before I call it for the morning? Not for the day, for the morning. I think this evening, before we do like one-on-one debates, I think we're going to do test your argument in the debate Discord. So I'll hop into the debate Discord for the evening live and let people test their arguments on me. I think it's a good I will do my one and only LARP. And I will hit y'all with counter arguments to see how you guys do.
We get MAGA Javon?
Yeah. MAGA Von.
I just want to say, I can't believe we went from how am I supposed to take you seriously when you're wearing cat ears to why aren't you taking this cat ears seriously?
Well, to be fair, that guy was trolling.
It's a crazy troll.
All right. Well, that's it for Morning Manifesto today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay beautiful. Panelists, thank you for being here. Alina, what you got for us?
Get a heated blanket and adopt a cat.
Warrior Princess, thank you for the $20 Venmo. Thank you so much. You guys heard it. Get a heated blanket, adopt a cat. Guests, thank you for being here, everybody.
I think so.
Thank you. Don't forget to peg the patriarchy. Bye.
Jovan, check your Cash App before I leave. Okay, real quick. Jamie, thank you for the Cash App as well. Thank you so much, Jamie. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the morning live and this evening for our evening lives. Have a great rest of your morning. Bye-bye.